Jeff Nippard has decided to double down after getting a ton of backlash on his latest video defending fake natties. Hussein Farhat has been lying again, and Greg Doucette has been devolving deeper and deeper into a testosterone-fueled psychosis by schizo-posting yet another video about me. We've got some stuff to talk about. Let's get into it. So I was working on another YouTube video when I was made aware that a second Jeff video had just hit the towers. I went ahead and left a comment on the video, which has garnered 22,000 likes by now. However, there's still so much left to unpack in Jeff's response, so let's take a look at it.
Most people try to figure out if someone is natural or not by looking at them. If they're below the line, they're natty. If they're above the line, they're not. But the problem is, people draw that line in very different places.
Well, it's actually a lot more nuanced than that, Jeff, and you know it. As a matter of fact, it's quite dishonest to frame this like we're just taking a glance at his physique and reaching a conclusion. We took a look at his starting point, his entire fitness journey, and the circumstances in which he built his muscle. That's what I did in my original video, and that's what Greg Doucette did in his original Natty or Not, where he said he absolutely does not think Hussein is natural.
I hated being skinny, so I dedicated myself every single day. 19 months later, I mean, you saw it with your own eyes. In 19 months, that's 1 year and 7 months, he went from being a skinny guy, he seemed to have some abs, to having a ton of muscle. It's very obvious. It's as if he put 17 years of training in only a matter of 17 months. To me, this is indicative of a guy who is using performance-enhancing drugs.
Which actually brings me to a very important point that I want to make. What you'll notice is that the goalposts have fully shifted. When this whole drama started, the main point of contention was whether blood tests were valid or not. Both Greg Doucette and I agreed that Hussein's transformation simply does not make sense for it to be natural. That wasn't the disagreement. Me and Greg were fully in agreement of that. You can't even say that Greg was fooled by lighting and manipulated pictures, because he still thought Hussein to absolutely not be natural, even after training with him in real life. The disagreement was that Greg thought a singular blood test was plenty of evidence to prove that he is natural, and thus could only make sense of his insane transformation by calling him 1 in a million. Whereas I believe that anything short of regular water-grade drug testing with a bunch of other important stipulations to be the only remotely valid way of proving one's natty status. However, the Hussein apologists have fully shifted the conversation to Hussein's transformation actually not being that crazy at all, and he just abuses a pump, lighting, and angles. Apparently everyone now has a classmate or a relative that made the exact same transformation as Hussein did in the same amount of time. People will be in the comment section saying that I'm jealous and have shit expectations, meanwhile Greg himself was stumped at first by Hussein's transformation. Oh, and TNF too.
I've been training for what, 3 years?
3 years,
Yeah, I'm pushing a decade, so. The first time somebody sent a video of yours to mine, they were like, is this guy natty? I'm like, obviously not.
And let's not forget Larry Wheels.
Training, by the way. So I'm training 16 years. How about yourself? 3. You're only training for 3 years? Yeah. No way.
But sure, I have shit expectations for thinking Hussein isn't natural.
Some people draw the line here, at Will Tennyson. Others draw the line right up to, but not including, Simian Panda. Believe it or not, a lot of people still think that The Rock is natty. And recently, millions of people fell for the Liver King scam, buying that his physique came from his ancestral diet and not the $10,000 monthly steroid cocktail.
Literally no one that has actually trained for more than 1 month fell for the Liver King scam. The only people that fell for it are normies that don't work out.
So, in this video, I'm diving straight into the dumpster fire, and I'm taking 3 tools with me: history, science, and common sense. And using those 3 tools, I'm gonna give my final answer to the question, how big can you get without steroids?
Let me just put that bait on there real quick. Okay, perfect. As big as me, I am the absolute pinnacle of human evolution, a specimen of human morphology, dare I say an ubermensch, and anyone that has a gram of muscle more than me is undoubtedly on steroids.
So, based on all this, I think it's safe to say that in all likelihood, American bodybuilders weren't juicing before the 1950s. Which means that this physique from 1947 was built 100% naturally. In this photo, Steve Reeves is 21 years old at 6 foot 1 inches tall, 215 pounds, and what looks to be around 10, maybe 12% body fat.
Now, he actually wasn't the biggest guy that I could find from this era, but I do think he was the most aesthetic. And the real reason that I picked Steve Reeves as an example of a natural bodybuilder from the pre-steroid era is that literally everyone agrees that this physique is 100% achievable naturally, right? Right?
All right, well, there are a few skeptics. I guess these people think that Steve Reeves, a 21-year-old from Montana, found a steroid plug before the US Olympics team at a time when the US-Soviet rivalry was at an all-time high.
You know what, I'll entertain this. I know there are some mega skeptics out there that think Steve Reeves was a natural, but okay, let's just say he was. Steve Reeves was the top bodybuilder of his time. He's widely regarded as the figurehead for the silver era of bodybuilding. He's an absolute legend, and I think it's more than fair to say that his genetics are truly 1 in a million. Steve Reeves started lifting weights at age 15. This is what he looked like after a little more than 1 year of training at age 16. And this is what Hussein Farhat looked like after only 6 months of training coming from this physique. By the way, this is when he had just joined a real gym for the first time, so all of these gains that you see were made by training in his garage with a broomstick and a ladder for pull-ups and limited dumbbells. So he seemingly made double the gains that Steve Reeves made in half the time with some raggedy home equipment. Okay, Jeff.
I guess these people think that Steve Reeves, a 21-year-old from Montana, found a steroid plug before the US Olympics team at a time when the US-Soviet rivalry was at an all-time high. But you know what? Let's entertain the extreme skepticism and go back to before Ernst Liqueur ever isolated testosterone. The most jacked person I could find from this era was this man, Eugene Sandow. To this day, this is who the Mr. Olympia trophy is named after. This photo was taken in 1897, 6 years before the airplane was invented. He was 5'9", 185 pounds, at around 10% body fat and 100% natural. But the 1800s were a long time ago. I mean, gym equipment looked like this, and this, and okay, this is actually a pretty cool lat pull down, but the point is, Eugene Sandow was not training anywhere near optimally in 1897.
Ever since starting this YouTube channel, I just can't look at this picture the same anymore. If there are any living descendants of Eugene Sandow, I'm so very sorry, but his face belongs to me now. Also, none of this proves Hussein is natural.
The most groundbreaking study on natural muscular development was published by Corey and colleagues in 1995. The researchers went to local gyms in Los Angeles and Boston and asked people if they were natty or not. They got 74 natties and 83 enhanced guys to volunteer for the study. Then, after urine testing them to make sure they weren't lying, the researchers measured everyone's height, weight, and body fat percentage using hydrostatic underwater weighing, which was considered one of the gold standards at the time. From there, they plugged all their body measurements into this formula for fat-free mass index, or FFMI, which is basically just a number that tells you how jacked you are.
Okay, well, I think we can all tell that this study seems to have some flaws. From the sample pool that seems to be concentrated in only 2 spots to the fact that people could have simply lied and said they were natty when they were not. Urine tests can easily be beat. Moreover, some people that claimed natty could have been on gear way before and retained all of those myonuclei in their muscles when they hopped off and claimed natty at the time of the study. But okay.
Hussein Farhat, the fitness influencer from my last video, is 185 pounds at 5'11" inches tall and around 12% body fat. He has an FFMI of, what do you think, 25, 26, 27? Now, Hussein's FFMI was 22.8. Now, I know the issue with Hussein isn't his size per se. It's the speed of his transformation that's suspicious. In this Instagram post, Hussein said he went from 134 to 184 pounds in his first 3 years of lifting at around the same body fat. I know he looks a lot leaner on the right, but there's some serious angle, lighting, and photo filter tricks going on there, so it's honestly not a good comparison. Regardless, let's just say he gained 50 pounds of lean mass in 3 years. Is that possible naturally? Well, let's look at it from a scientific angle. This is a table for realistic rates of muscle gain in men from my textbook, The Muscle Ladder, which I wrote before I knew who Hussein was. I said that most men will gain 10 to 25 pounds of lean mass in their first year of lifting, 5 to 10 pounds in their second year, and 2.5 to 7.5 pounds in their third year. And I based those figures off this 2020 systematic review on whole body muscle growth in healthy adult males. So, according to my table, we're looking at a range of 17.5 to 42.5 pounds of lean mass gained in your first 3 years. Hussein gained 50. So yes, he's above the typical range.
Now this is a major oversight in Jeff's video. As already established in my responding to Greg Doucette video, Hussein Farhat actually put on all of his size in about 18 months and has basically been the same ever since. By the way, I know that we say that this is Hussein Farhat's 3-year transformation, but he's pretty much been the same size for over a year now. So this is actually more like his 2-year transformation in terms of muscle mass added. Let me give you some examples. This is a picture of Hussein roughly a year ago, and this is a picture of Hussein at the start of this month. The guy looks like he didn't put on any muscle. And on top of that, this is a picture he also posted a year ago, and this is the exact same picture he posted 1 year later. If Mr. 1 in a million genetics made this many gains in 1.5 years, why is he still around the same size that he was a year ago, to the point he can literally just recycle pictures from a year ago on his feed now? Why hasn't Mr. 1 in a million genetics made any tangible gains in over a year and a half? As far as I know, people that are natural don't start plateauing gains wise until at least 5 years into training. Again, sounds like someone who has hopped off cycle for over a year and has been maintaining it ever since. Kind of adds up with the exact point in time that he passed Greg's drug test 9 months ago too, doesn't it? So those 3 years are 18 months in reality. The transformation that Jeff says is unlikely within 3 years was actually done in almost half that time. I left a comment laying out this exact point, and as of now, it's the most liked comment on this video, sitting at about 23,000 likes. This simple oversight renders his entire argument obsolete. Now on to the part where Hussein Farhat has been lying about me. Greg posted a reaction video to my Jeff video that was basically just an advertisement for his snake oil supplements, and was also just rambling like a schizo the entire time. He pinned a comment on this video, which reads, "I think Greg and Hussein need to publicly call out Anabolic Stick on the fact that he chickened out of testing Hussein, despite Connor Sinan offering to pay for it. His reasoning was being that Hussein is clearly off cycle now, yet he also claims in his most recent video that Hussein is still looking very much not natty. Guy is clearly afraid that Hussein will pass all of his tests and his YouTube channel will then fade back to irrelevance." Now this comment is just blatantly false. Someone commented, "To be fair, Anabolic Stick had very specific requirements to accept the testing, and the other guy was not willing to agree to the whole process, as one current test at the moment doesn't prove anything, and the only conclusive way to prove it would be random testing over time. And if Hussein was not natural, it would be easy to stay off gear till the hype is over, whereas Anabolic Stick wanted randomized testing over a long period of time while also checking max strength along the way to show no loss in strength while testing natural." To which Hussein commented, "I accepted all his terms, kept a $100,000 bet, and even had Connor go over all the testing costs, and bro still didn't show up." To this I commented, "When have my terms of third-party water grade randomized drug testing twice a month for 6 to 9 months alongside a hair follicle test at the start and end of the testing period, supplemented with DEXA scans to gauge whether muscle mass is atrophied, ever been accepted? All Connor said was show up to do one drug test and we'll see what we'll do afterwards. Doesn't sound very inspiring now, does it? Keep deceiving your audience." That's pretty much what happened. I tested Connor a list of stipulations of what I would require testing wise if I were to show up and be a part of it. Connor kept dancing around this and told me to just show up for one test and then we'll see what we'll do afterward. Hussein, you never agreed to my list of stipulations, yet say that I'm the one that chickened out. You're genuinely a pathological liar.